Today, we're diving into the dramatic story of how Somalia's so-called total war against Al-Shabaab, a campaign that started with so much promise, just completely fell apart. And look, to get a handle on the crisis that's unfolding right now, we first have to understand what went so terribly, terribly wrong. So, let's set the scene. It's August 2022. After a truly horrific hotel siege in Mogadishu, the president, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, makes this powerful declaration. This was meant to be a rallying cry, a promise of one decisive, final battle to end Al-Shabaab. You can almost feel the determination in those words. And yet, here we are in 2025. And that promise? It's in tatters. The total war didn't just stall out, it has completely unraveled, and it's left the country in an even worse spot than before. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here? To figure that out, we've got to go back to the beginning. Because, believe it or not, this didn't start out as a story of failure. It actually started as a story of incredible grassroots success, one that offered this really rare glimmer of hope. What's so remarkable about this is that the initial charge wasn't even led by the government. As the president was making his big speech, Hawadal clan militias were already on the move, pushing Al-Shabaab out of territory they'd held for more than a decade. This was a real local uprising. The government in Mogadishu saw this incredible momentum and basically jumped on the bandwagon, spinning it as a unified national offensive. But fast forward to 2024, and it was all gone. Every bit of it lost. That hopeful beginning just makes the end result even more painful. So let's really get into it. Let's break down the anatomy of this total strategic collapse. It's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, you've got this organic, successful offensive. You've got popular support. You even have international backing. What happened? Well, it turns out the government in Mogadishu basically fumbled the ball on four critical fronts. First, they took all the credit for the wins, but didn't actually provide the support needed to hold the towns. They left a total vacuum. Then, they didn't step in to help heal the deep clan divisions, and they failed to set up even basic services or governance. So you had these tactical wins on the battlefield that were never converted into a lasting strategic victory. And the consequences of these failures, they were absolutely catastrophic. Not just strategically, but in terms of human life. The numbers we're about to see are just devastating. First, the Somali National Army. They lost an estimated 3,700 soldiers. That's a massive, massive blow to the country's formal security forces. Then you have the clan fighters, the Makawizgli, the very people who started this whole hopeful offensive. Over 2,000 of them were killed. And maybe the most telling number of all is this one. Over 4,000 regular troops just walked away. They deserted their posts. This tells you it wasn't just about losing battles. This was a complete collapse in morale, a loss of faith in the entire mission. So why was it all so chaotic? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle was pure politics and instability. The defense minister was replaced on average every 4 months. The army chief, 3 different ones in 3 years. I mean, how can you possibly run a coherent war when your leadership is a revolving door? Major offensives would literally fall apart midway through because a new general would suddenly be in charge. It was institutional chaos, plain and simple. And this right here, this shows you just how fatally misplaced the government's priorities were. In 2024, instead of sending reinforcements to the front lines against Al-Shabaab, Mogadishu pulled 500 elite soldiers away to go protest a port deal with Ethiopia up on the Somaliland border. The direct result? Key fronts were left exposed, and Al-Shabaab just waltzed right back in. Think about that. They prioritized a political squabble over the existential fight for their country. And all of this failure, well, it created a massive opportunity. As the Somali government was falling apart, Al-Shabaab didn't just survive. It got stronger, it evolved, and it started building something far more sophisticated. I mean, just look at this comparison. It is so stark. On one side, you have a government that's crippled by infighting and can barely pay its own soldiers. And on the other side, Al-Shabaab is running a functional, albeit brutal, shadow state. We're talking over 140 courts, 86 schools. They control tax collection on most of the major trade routes. In huge parts of the country, they are the de facto government, providing a predictable, if terrifying form of governance that the official state just can't match. And that brings us right back to today, to 2025. Al-Shabaab isn't just defending its territory anymore. No, now it's on the offensive, and its sights are set on the ultimate prize, the capital, Mogadishu, itself. Al-Shabaab's current strategy is a full-on assault on the state's very existence. They're not just fighting in the countryside. They're choking the government financially by attacking the ports, which bring in over 2/3 of its revenue. They're using targeted assassinations to create fear and paralysis, and they're launching coordinated military assaults. And get this, 17 high-profile assassinations just in the capital in 2025 alone. This isn't random violence. This is a cold, calculated signal of their intelligence superiority and their ability to strike wherever and whenever they want, right in the government's backyard. Which leaves us with this final chilling question. After a total war that completely backfired, leaving the government weaker and Al-Shabaab stronger, the fight is no longer about reclaiming the country. Now it's about saving the capital itself. And honestly, without a radical change in strategy and in governance, the answer to that question is far from certain.